Hey there everybody, just doing a review for the OKMO 2000 watt portable power station. And so just taking a quick look at the box that the unit comes in. Just a regular box really. Over on this side, just get a few multi-state protections that are noted. Every power station basically has this. And over on this side, tells you a bit about the features. Nothing really to write home about. And over on this side, a specifications panel right there. And yeah, that's about it. Just a regular box. And so what's included in the box with the unit, you do get a carrying pouch for all these accessories that come with the power station. And you do get a AC charging brick, a car charging cable, a warranty card, I believe. And this is the user manual for the power station. And so yeah, that's about it. What's included in the box. And let's just go and take a closer look at the OKMO 2000. Okay, and so this OKMO power station, like I said, has a 2000 watt max output along with a 2200 watt hour power capacity. So that's a lot of output and lots of capacity. However, this power station does make a few notable exceptions on things. Like it cuts a few corners, especially like with the screen, and we're gonna be getting into the screen in a second. But yeah, let's just go ahead and do a quick walk around of the power station. And so over on this side, yeah, nothing, just a vent for the internal fan. And over on this side, nothing at the back. Yeah, it just has a warning, don't leave it in your car for such a long time. Yeah, over here you got the internal fans. And over at the top, nothing at the top, just these handles that are really well built. Actually, I gotta give them credit for these handles. These handles are like really sturdy, and you just get power station written right there. And yeah, so as I was saying about the oh wait, also the size of the power station. All right, and as for the size of the power station, it is 13 by 8 by 12 and weighs 46 pounds. So this is a heavy power station. You are gonna have to brace yourself to pick it up. Especially you're gonna have to use those two handles at the top to pick it up. Yeah, it is heavy. And so getting into the actual features of this 2000 watt power station, you get 3 AC outlets. This is the DC input ports. You get a DC input port right there, and you also get a Anderson input port for solar recharging. And we're going to be testing out the recharging as well in this review. The charging ports, they're okay. This is one of the most notable parts where they cut corners. This is a 60 watt power delivery port. This is a 2000 watt power station. I would expect at least a 100 watt USB-C power delivery port, but instead we get a 60 watt port. This is a quick charge 3.0 port and 2 standard USB-A ports. Yeah, that charging section, pretty questionable for a power station this high tier. And this is the DC section. You get 2 DC 5521 ports and a DC cigarette lighter port right over here. I think they output 12 volts at 8 amps. I think most power stations have like 12 volts at like 10 amps. So there's a small little change right there. I'm not sure if you're going to be using these DC ports a lot, but just know that they are 8 amp ports right over here. And yeah, here we are at the screen. And yeah, this is where this is what grinds my gears a lot with this power station. And that's because well, to turn on the power station, you do have to press this power button right here. Just tap that. And yeah, this screen, it basically tells you nothing. I mean, it tells you things, but in comparison to other power station displays, this display just has the battery capacity logo to tell you the remaining power capacity. There is no percentage. So you just have to rely on these bars that are basically 20% increments. But like if you're at the last bar, you have no idea if the power station is about to die or not. Like you don't know if you're at 20%, you don't know if you're at 1%. And also, when you want to turn on each of the sections, for the AC outlet section, you've just got to hold down the AC button and it turns on, and it just shows you that the AC section is on. For the USB section and the DC section, you just got to tap it once and they turn on and they show up on the screen. But there is no wattage input or output reading on this display, and in my opinion, that is a huge corner cut for a power station at this price range and with this output and power capacity. That's a pretty like big yikes. Also, there is no estimated runtime, of course, and that's all you get on the screen. So yeah, the screen is really limited. And if you're okay with that, that's fine. But just know that that is the screen right there. That's all you're going to be getting. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and start testing out these charging ports right here with some devices, see how these charging ports work. Then we're going to move on to the AC outlet section. Yeah, this is where the tests are going to become pretty heavy. And also, we're going to be testing out a full-sized fridge with this OKMO 2000 watt power station, because I know the Prepper Princess review did test out this OKMO 2000 power station, and it didn't run so well with a full-size fridge, but we're gonna give that another go. Maybe she got a bad unit. I'm not sure what happened right there, but it didn't go so well with her review. And we're going to be testing out a full-size fridge with that as well. So yeah, let's get into the charging ports first. Alright you guys, so for the charging port section test, I do have all the charging ports being used right here. I've got a Lenovo laptop charging from the 60 watt USB-C power delivery port. Currently charging at about 30 watts right there. This is the laptop's max charging speed, which is great. However, I still think that USB-C port should be a 100 watt USB-C power delivery port, because there are a lot of laptops on the market that can charge faster with a 100 watt port, and it's just the standard really at this point for a power station at this level. For the phones, I have a Galaxy Note 9 fast charging from the USB-A quick charge port, this LG G7, and this Galaxy A51 are standard charging from the two standard USB-A ports right there that is expected. And so yeah, the charging port section, it's all right. It would have been better if they at least made these three USB-A ports quick charge and just left the 60 watt USB-C power delivery port at 60 watts. But the charging port section could have been improved a bit. But once again, they perform how they're supposed to. And yeah, there we go. Let's move on to the AC outlets. All right, you guys. So for the first appliance that I'm going to be testing out with the OKMO 2000, I do have this electric cooktop that is rated for 1000 watts. Because the display on this power station is so limited, I do have this electricity monitor I'm going to plug into the AC outlet section. Let's turn it on first. And so yeah, it's powered on. Turn off the USB section. So we're just going to plug that in right there. And so yeah, this is going to be able to tell us what's going on. What's the output of the power station, because it doesn't show up on the display, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just gonna plug in the cooktop right there. There we go. Cooktop is plugged in. Go ahead and turn that on. Yeah. All right. That is at its highest setting right there, I believe. And so as you can see, the monitor is raising up in wattage. We're at about 816 watts. That's what you can expect for a 1000 watt cooktop. I'm pretty sure you can use up to a 1800 watt cooktop as well with this power station. But this is all I had right now. And so I'm going to place this saucepan filled with 4 cups of water. This is basically the same test I did with the EcoFlow Delta 2. And we're just going to be doing it again right here. And we're going to be coming back when the water starts boiling. But yeah, 812 watts. This power station should be able to handle it with no problems at all, considering that it has a 2000 watt max output. And yeah, we'll be right back. Alright you guys, so we're back with the OKMO 2000 boiling this saucepan with 4 cups of water, and yeah, it's boiling. It took about like 10 minutes to start boiling, but yeah, it got the job done. And we're still outputting 810 watts. And in case you're wondering how long you can like run a cooktop like this, for a 2220 watt hour power capacity, you're gonna be able to run a cooktop like this for about like 2 hours straight. And also, that is the fan that you just heard. The fan is pretty loud. When it turns on, it doesn't like have different speeds. It just has like this one full-blown on speed. It is a bit loud, but at the same time, other power stations just like this one have equally as loud fans, because I mean, you gotta cool the batteries down inside, and there's really no other way to do that other than the fans spinning fast and cooling it down. Who knows, we might have power stations that use liquid cooling in the future. That is also a possibility. I'm actually not sure if that's a possibility or not. I'm just giving some input of mine. But anyways, yeah, 808 watts. The OKMO 2000 handles it with no problems at all. You can cook some food during a power outage if you want to, or if you're going camping. And yeah, let's move on to some other appliances. Alright you guys, so I've got this Lasco heater connected to the OKMO 2000 power station. Currently it's just pulling about 1.6 watts because of the LED power light right there, I think. And we're just gonna pop it on right now. Go ahead and turn it on. Let's just set it to low first and see how it performs. And the wattage is going up, of course. There we go. Let's just turn on the oscillating feature, I guess, because why not? It looks like it maxed out the low setting, so let's just go ahead and turn it to high. Performing really well, just as it would from a regular wall outlet. Gonna press high. All right, should be going up in wattage now. Here we go. Okay. And there's the fan for the power station. And yeah, 1300 watts. Should be no problems for the power station, and it looks like it's having no problems running the heater. I mean, for a 1300 watt output, you're gonna be able to use this power station for about like an hour and a half. I know it has like a 2220 watt hour power capacity, but you have to account for a conversion because while you're using the power station, some battery capacity is lost. That goes for every power station, portable chargers. But yeah, this heater is running really well. There we go. And let me go ahead and grab a heat gun, and I'm gonna test it out while the heater is running. I just want to like really push this OKMO power station to its limit to see what it does. So let me go ahead and grab a heat gun and keep this heater plugged in. Alright guys, so back with a heat gun connected to the power station. I still have the heater plugged in right over there. I don't have another electricity monitor, so we're gonna be flying blind with the heat gun being powered. But yeah, let's just see what happens. I'm gonna turn the heater to high. I'm gonna then turn on the heat gun to low, and then we're gonna turn the heat gun to high, and see just how far we can push this OKMO power station, and to see if it automatically turns off, or like it could possibly regulate the power output and still have these two appliances still running. And so yeah, let me just go ahead and turn on the heater right over here, and we're just gonna keep it at high right from the start, and it seems to be raising in wattage right there. Okay. Yeah. It's working fine. All right. Okay, and let me just turn on the heat gun. I think the heater already maxed out. So and the heat gun is currently at low. Seems to be performing well. The wattage of the heater did drop right there. Okay, and the wattage of the heater dropped again. Just put it to high. Okay, let's put that down for a second. I know I'm not supposed to, but okay, it's so wrong. Okay. He's still on. Okay, wow. It seems that the power station is able to regulate the power output so it can run two devices at the same time. I don't think the heater and the heat gun were running at optimal performance though. It did pull the wattage from the heater in order to power the heat gun, I believe. Also, let me just check something real quick. Let me turn on the heater, turn off the heater, and turn on the heat gun. Just give me a second. Yeah, I think the heater also sounded a bit different on its low setting when the heater was on. But yeah, I think the this power station does regulate power output, so it doesn't have to turn off. That's pretty nice in case you want to run two high wattage appliances at the same time. Although, like in the manual, it does say that it does shut off once it goes past the 2000 watt max output, because this is a 1800 watt appliance, and the heater is a 1800 watt appliance, I believe. Also, it's pretty high wattage appliance. I know that much. But yeah, that was actually pretty interesting to see. And let's move on to the next test. I think we're gonna test out the refrigerator next, and I'm gonna do a time lapse with that. So let's get to it. Alright, you guys. So I've got my full size Kenmore fridge, and I'm just gonna plug it in and see what happens. Plugged in. Okay, seems to be being powered. I'm gonna start a stopwatch for about 10 minutes, and we're gonna come back in 10 minutes to see if the fridge is still running. Alright, you guys, so that is 10 minutes with the refrigerator plugged in, being powered from the OKMO 2000, and it still seems to be running. There we go, and let me just go and check inside real quick. So, seems to be on. Yeah, so I mean, this thing can run a full-size fridge with no problems. Alright, everybody, so just over here, AC recharging the OKMO 2000 power station. The max input of this power station is 200 watts. It doesn't matter if you're using the solar input or the AC input. The max input of this power station overall is 200 watts only, and that is a pretty big corner cut in my opinion, because this is a 2220 watt hour power station. That is a lot of power, and so you're going to want a high wattage input to recharge that power station a lot faster than 200 watts in my opinion. Yeah, 200 watts going from 0 to 100 is going to be taking about 11 hours. How often are you going to be taking this power station down to 0%? Probably not that often, but yeah, just something to know. The charging brick, in the Prepper Princess review, I know she said that this charging brick does get hot. Yes, it does get pretty hot. It's warm in some places, it's hot in others. But yeah, I will say, yeah, it does get pretty high in temperature. Let's just go and test out the solar recharging. Alright, everybody, so just outside with the OKMO G2000 power station. Recharging it with this Alpha ESS SP200 solar panel. This is a 200 watt solar panel, and so I'm using a Anderson cable to input into the Anderson input port to recharge the unit. It is recharging, but once again, we don't know how much watts is being input into the power station because of that display. It just shows the battery logo being filled up right there. Really easy to use. I mean, all you're going to need is a 200 watt solar panel, because this power station does max out at a 200 watt solar input, and this Alpha ESS panel is right at that 200 mark. I'm not saying that you have to use this solar panel. You can use any 200 watt solar panel. Just make sure that you've got a Anderson cable that can be used with this power station, and that can be connected to your panel in order to actually recharge this power station. Yeah, I mean, once again, that display tells us really nothing about how the recharging is performing, but it is recharging, so at least that's the bright side. And we've got full sun exposure on the panels as well. Alright, you guys, so when it comes to the build quality of the OKMO G2000, it has a solid build. Like, everything's really put together. I don't feel any loose parts. The handles are like really strong. Oh yeah, and this top part right over here is made of plastic. However, this silver part right here, this is like made of like metal. I think it's made of aluminum, and this bottom part is made of plastic. But yeah, it's not really common for power stations to be made of aluminum. They're all mostly just made of plastic, which I have no problem with. But yeah, I mean, it does give it, I suppose, more premium feel, but at the same time, I think it does contribute to the heavy weight of this power station. So just something to know. But yeah, like all power stations though, don't drop this. Don't expose it to water. It will get damaged by being dropped or being exposed to water. But yeah, a solid build from this OKMO G2000, even though it has other questionable corners being cut, like the display, the charging ports, the recharging for the unit, the lack of a solar charging cable. But yeah, I mean, decent, really good build quality in my opinion. All right, and so my final thoughts about the OKMO G2000. Is it a bad power station? No, but it does have like certain features that are like, you're wondering why it doesn't have an output or input wattage reading on the display, while like most other power stations do have it. The charging ports are a bit weak, and there's no app integration. I did a review for the EcoFlow Delta 2 power station before this, and that the Delta 2 has app integration. It has a great display, a lot more helpful than this display. But at the same time, the Delta 2 is a lot cheaper because it has a 1024 watt hour power capacity. But at the same time, the Delta 2 has a lithium iron phosphate battery, while this OKMO G2000 has a lithium ion battery. So you're not getting as many charge cycles, because the price for this G2000 currently is $1,099. I think last year it was $1,500. So I mean, power stations like these are going to be dropping in price pretty drastically in the future, because of that lack of like lithium iron phosphate batteries, because of that display. That's an alright price. If it dropped a bit more, it would be even more worth getting this power station in my opinion, because power stations are having a lot more upgrades being done to them, and so power stations like these are going to become the base of what you're looking for. Because if you're if you're not really concerned about the display, about the recharging speed being 200 watts, then this power station is going to do you just fine because of that 2000 watt output and that 2220 watt hour power capacity, because you can do a lot with 2000 watts, and that's where this OKMO power station really shines. And so yeah, that's just my opinion. Just know at the time of this review, it is $1,099. It's going to change obviously moving forward, but yeah, just my thoughts right there. All right, and that is a review for the OKMO G2000 portable power station. Down in the description below, I will leave a link to the product page as well as a link to the review article for this OKMO G2000. And I will see you guys on the next review. All right, goodbye.